Hi friends, it is Self-Care Thursday. Checking in from my jacuzzi, getting ready to go do a little cold plunging. It's great for arthritis, joint pain, circulation. It's great for the mood. So yep, that's how I'm starting my morning off today. I'm also sitting in front of this tree right here. Is actually the one, if you don't follow me on social media, I posted a reel of some baby birds. I had found the eggs, oh gosh, I don't know, a couple months ago, and then all of a sudden there's babies in there and they're so cute. But anyways, keep an eye out for the mom. She's flying back and forth between there. I have a little garden area over here where I found her digging in the leaves. I heard it before I found her, but anyways, very cool. I'm gonna put together a little story about that. But anyways, back to the YouTube channel. So I finished my 90-day challenge with Soma Breath last week and didn't really know where I wanted to go with this. It's funny, I got in a habit of posting every day and I kind of felt guilty for not posting, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't owe this to anybody but myself. So what I have decided to do is tie this into my blog. And if you don't follow my blog, I have a website. It's Holistic Wellness with Cindy, and I have a blog. My blog is called Skinposium. It started out as a skincare blog, and I've been an esthetician for almost 20 years. I've always had a love for holistic skincare, and I've always known that your skin is a sign of what's going on inside the body. So it's always been very interesting. That naturally led me into a more holistic lifestyle. My mom raised us pretty healthy. Like, we didn't have snacks at free will. We had to ask for a soda. Soda was a special treat. And same thing with sugary stuff. She was always good about keeping granola in there. And I actually asked her, I'm like, where did you know that? And she really didn't. I mean, she just knew like what made her feel good and what didn't. And I don't know. Anyways, we had that conversation, and I just think it's interesting that she passed that off to me in some kind of way without knowing. So anyways, in 2017, I was surprisingly diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, multiple sclerosis. I woke up one morning in the summer of 2017 and my leg was asleep. And I didn't think much of it and got up and did my daily thing. But I noticed as my day went on, it wasn't going away, and I kept moving it. Everything was functioning okay, so I wasn't too concerned. But then within 2 or 3 days, the numbness and tingling had then gone into my other leg, and then it had traveled all the way up into my rib cage, and I felt like I had this thick padding on me. Like it wasn't really me. I would push on it. So I, of course, called my doctor. In the meantime, I went to Colorado to visit my kids. I had a planned trip, and we hiked all the way to the top of Red Rock, which is a good hike. And I did that with numb legs. So I knew there wasn't anything seriously wrong with me. Again, I hoped. But finally, after about 6 months of testing, I had CAT scans, MRIs with and without the dye, lots of blood tests, and I was given the diagnosis of MS, and I was like, wait, what? And I was really shocked. I actually had a friend who died from MS at a young age. He was a gentleman that my ex-husband went to school with, and he was on crutches by the time he was 18. We stayed friends with his family, and he ended up having 2 beautiful boys and got married, but he's no longer with us. But that scared me because I thought, wow, this is scary. And my doctor did tell me if I didn't take care of it now, I would be in a wheelchair in 10 years, and that frightened me even more. So they had also linked a vertigo episode I had a couple years prior, where I was down. I couldn't even stand up. I couldn't walk down the hall. I just was puking. I was at my girlfriend's house in LA, and we'd gone out the night before and nothing major, had dinner, a couple drinks, and then I woke up the next morning and I don't know what it was, but it lasted a good 24 hours and went away, never had another one. But when I did my history with the doctor, he said that's likely one of the little precursors, little red flags, which as well, I've had eczema my whole life. As far as I can remember, we had pools when I was a kid, and I remember one summer coming in, and I don't really remember feeling it myself, but I remember my mom noticing because I was all red and welted, and she's like, what's wrong with you? What? And I'm like, I don't know. And I do remember at times it itching, like more so like when I was on the grass or something like that, but another inflammatory response. So there was something festering in my life from who knows how long. Sometimes, you know, they relate things back to our ancestral inheritance, which I find fascinating and I know very little about, but I know that there's a lot of people studying it out there, so probably dive more into that. But anyway, so the diagnosis frightened me, and they wanted to put me on a medication that was going to mess with my immune system, and I was the only one at work that wasn't getting sick, and I said, hold on, I want to figure this out, because I had been doing yoga on and off for several years, and I knew there was something more natural that I could choose from. And so I took a little road trip to Colorado to go visit the rest of my family, and took my father along. That was interesting, challenging, but a blessing. And I just talked to them about what my diagnosis was, what the recommended prescription was, and my prognosis, and then I kind of talked to them about what I wanted to do. And that was seeking a more holistic approach to healing, as my symptoms weren't that bad. You know, I had the brain fog, the numbing and tingling actually had subsided by the end of that 6 months of testing. So, and I also knew that what I put in my body is affecting all of that. So I opted to decline medical intervention. My neurologist was super supportive. He's been super supportive ever since. After I declined the medical intervention, I asked him, I said, are you done with me now? And he said, no, not at all. We're going to keep monitoring you. So I've had an MRI every year since my diagnosis. I've had zero progression. I just had another one this last October, which I haven't got to meet with my doctor yet, but I just emailed him and I said, I'm seeing the report, like, no change, right? And he said, yes, but we should still get together and do a physical. So I have that scheduled. I don't know if it's this week or next week, but yeah. I immediately, my goal is to reverse some of the scarring that was seen in my brain on my last MRIs. I had active lesions and scarring in the spinal cord and the brain. But he said zero progression, so that's the blessing. Yeah, and my whole approach has been really an anti-inflammatory lifestyle is what it comes down to. Balancing stress. Breath work has changed my life significantly. I found Soma almost 2 years ago now. And it kind of brought everything together for me that I was already doing, and then added the component of breath work and meditation, which I've never been a good meditator. But with the addition of the breath work and the music and the counting, your mind has something to do. Not that my mind doesn't still wander, because it does, but it's a great tool. I want to encourage anybody that says, I can't meditate. That's so common. And you're not expected to be completely still for the whole time. It's all about practice and getting better and quieting the mind as much as possible. You'll be fascinated to learn some of the things that are affected in the body, the physical body, from holding on to stress and breathing improperly. And just notice how many times you're under a stressful situation. Notice, are you holding your breath? Very common. There are healthy ways to hold the breath, and that's a lot of what Soma teaches. So I love this journey I'm on. Again, I'm on the holistic coaching journey, the master instructor. I'm in no hurry at this point. I don't think my journey is ever going to be done. I want to continue learning as long as I'm alive. It's what keeps me thriving and happy. And so, yeah. That's my story. All of my practices, my supplements, my contrast therapy that I do, saunas. I'm seeking to get a sauna at home. Luckily, I have one at work. I just need to get back on getting over there more often. I'm going to reintroduce my breathwork classes for my coworkers. I want to try to get in with our guests. I know we have a full schedule of instructors for aerobics and that kind of stuff, and I think we even have a breathwork class, and we do sound bowls, but I want to get in there and teach, so I'm going to put a proposal in at least one day a week, maybe even one day a month. I don't care. I just want to share this practice because it is life-changing. So yeah, I am just checking in. I'm going to do a little relaunch of my YouTube channel, and I'm going to gear it towards my blog. And I wrote a blog about my diagnosis, and I have different blogs about my diet, the supplements I take, my ginger lemon tea, which I've been doing for about 10 years, and that's awesome in itself. But yeah, anyways, just wanted to check in because it's been a week or so, and I'm feeling a little like I want to stay connected. So if you have any questions, any concerns, any suggestions, please feel free to reach out. And yeah, that's it. Peace, friends.